Hi, children. Well, we know the first verse of Joseph Smith's first prayer. Let's try the second verse. Do you remember the first verse talks about the lovely morning and the sun was radiantly beaming and there were bees humming and birds singing and the music of the bees and those birds singing, ringing through the grove. And then in the shady woodland, Joseph sought God by praying. Well, the second verse is all about Joseph praying. So let's sing that. And what we're going to do is I'll just play it on the piano and sing it. I'll sing a little bit, and then you can sing a little bit. Should we try it? So the first line is, humbly kneeling, sweet appealing. Because Joseph was kneeling down, and he was humble, and he was appealing to God. Appealing means asking. So humbly kneeling, sweet appealing. All right, so you try that. Humbly kneeling, sweet appealing. Good. And then the next line is, 'twas the boy's first uttered prayer. Now, utter, that's not a word that we say very much, but to utter means to say. So it was the boy Joseph's first prayer that he actually said. Maybe he had prayed to God in his mind, but he hadn't said a prayer out loud. So why don't you try that? 'Twas the boy's. 'Twas the boy's first uttered prayer. Good. And then the next line is, when the powers of sin assailing. So Satan didn't want Joseph to pray to God, and so he tried to stop him. So the powers of sin, the powers of Satan were assailing, which means attacking or fighting, and they filled his soul with deep despair. Filled his soul with deep despair. So why don't you try that? When the powers of sin assailing, filled his soul with deep despair. But even though he was under attack, he still trusted in Heavenly Father. So it says, but undaunted still he trusted in his Heavenly Father's care. Can you try that? But undaunted still he trusted in his Heavenly Father's care. Good job. And then the last line is the same words repeated with a different and a more complicated melody. It goes, but undaunted still he trusted in his Heavenly Father's care. Okay, you try it. But undaunted still he trusted in his Heavenly Father's care. Great singing. Well, now I think we should try singing it with the music. So we'll start the music. Remember, it goes, humbly kneeling, sweet appealing, 'twas the boy's first uttered prayer, when the powers of sin assailing filled his soul with deep despair. But undaunted still he trusted in his Heavenly Father's care. Let's try it. Humbly kneeling. Humbly kneeling, sweet appealing, 'twas the boy's first uttered prayer, when the powers of sin assailing filled his soul with deep despair. But undaunted still he trusted in his Heavenly Father's care. But undaunted still he trusted in his Heavenly Father's care. That's great singing. You're doing great. You know, there's a nice lesson in just this one verse of the song, and that is, when we are having a hard time, if we're in despair, that means we're feeling sad and we don't have a lot of hope or we're worried, we can trust in our Heavenly Father's care and still keep praying to Him, and He'll help us. So we'll do a few more fun things now, and we'll continue with primary.